All right, we're live. When I sit down,
Getting a picture of Jill. This is really hard.
okay.
It was. It took me like hours to find. Just kidding.
Hello, everyone.
Tremendously.
We're here at our second.
Wait a second. I'm kidding.
Hello, everyone. This is our second training session. I'm Rob Chase with the mic, and this is my staff. This is Ed Ikanos.
Ichinose.
Ichinose.
Don't worry, everyone messes it up.
I'm sorry.
It's
Connor
okay.
P. Dalton, Jay Jacobs, Jill Conco, and
Forget how you pronounce your name.
No, it's a joke from last
My
time.
middle name is Helen.
And what subject do we want to discuss today?
I believe Rob, you were talking about something on Facebook, and that looked like it was pretty crazy when you were commenting on it. So could you just?
And I don't want to be too heated about it.
Well, you never know.
It's
We could
kind
cool
of-
it down right now. We could cool it down right now. So what was
Can you
it?
pull up our Facebook?
I've got it right here. Where's it at? 102 comments.
102. Yeah, it was only like an hour, maybe an hour and two.
People were going
2
crazy.
hours, I think, maybe.
I gotta click on it twice because there's so many.
Yeah, you guys are ganging up on me too.
So what is
Now we're here in person. I'm afraid you're
And
gonna
you
beat
can't
me.
take the heat
Okay.
down.
Run me out on a rail.
Speaking of
There were,
the heat.
there were two
Speaking of the
questions.
heat.
Not now. Not now. Not now.
There were two questions. The first one was, should religious groups be allowed to make use of public funds, especially on a community campus, or community college campus, excuse me. And then the second question was, should creationism be taught in public schools, because there's still a strong push to get it added to curriculums.
You're doing one at a time, firstly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Should public funds be used for religious groups?
Should public funds be used for religious groups? I think so.
Why?
I don't see why not.
Well, we have separation of church and state. And,
Absolutely.
religious groups usually, in the past, have had an agenda. They're kind of
That's not a stereotype?
no, it's the way they've been.
Really? So you can
So
name,
you think
you can
the
name every group in
Okay.
a generalization that pushes an agenda? Because how many religious groups are you referencing
well,
here?
mostly
That all
Christianity, I
have-
would say. I mean,
Okay.
Mostly, but we're a multi-religious country.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying we shouldn't give public funds to religious groups?
No.
and if we did, we'd have to do all of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, public funds is public funds. Anyone can take public funds. I mean, why does it have to be solely on religious groups? Why can't they get public funds?
Well, I believe it was in the speech I made. My speech should be there in docs, but I can't remember it entirely. Thomas Jefferson, who was one of the biggest advocates of freedom of religion, he himself was a Christian, but one of the things he said, to compel another individual to pay for beliefs they didn't agree with was not only sinful, it was tyrannical. I mean, so you're asking the general public to pay for other people's beliefs.
So I'll get a few questions in directly, because the quote is to compel a man to furnish contributions of money for the propagation of opinions which he disbelieves is sinful and tyrannical.
It has it right
So
there.
my
That's
question,
my speech. You probably
yeah,
follow.
I've got it all up here.
Okay.
So my question is that strictly about religion?
Right, that's what he was quoting.
That's what he was going for.
That's what he
Okay.
was.
Do you suppose the interpretation of that statement has evolved? Do you believe that
Evolved, ooh, nice word.
do you believe the interpretation of that statement has changed since he made that?
I don't think it should, but there's a difference between beliefs and, now we'll go back into the school thing, but the difference between beliefs and science and there's, if people want to have their beliefs, that's fine. But to impose those beliefs on the general public is wrong.
See, my question is, sorry.
Go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Well-
Sorry, you go ahead. You
No,
go
no,
ahead.
no, no.
Go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying I don't really understand how clubs are opposing the beliefs, because I know you're talking about a club here at the college, and I don't really feel how that's imposing a belief, because just like this club, it was strictly a choice on my part to come in. Nobody said like, Jill, you get there and you get there now, and like I chose to come here. So if someone's doing a Christian group, they're not asking you to come, Rob. They're not.
Right.
No, they
Right.
do not live there all the time.
You know, when I saw the pagan club, I'm like,
Right.
okay,
But
I'm
the
not
thing
interested,
is-
and no one is telling me to come.
Right.
Were they
Okay.
trying to recruit you? Or were
There
they-
was, signs everywhere, and I saw
Right.
before they got torn down.
But the thing is,
I mean,
Here's the thing, back a few hundred years ago, people started leaving England because they had an official national church, the to worship in different ways. There's a lot of different church groups. And when our money, our tax dollars that every one of us pays, we should be able to, when you have an official national church, you're putting everyone else down.
Right, but
And
cross
but
references
and the
200
thing is,
years ago.
and the difference between that and having a club at a college is the club, that person who's leading, that advisor is not being paid to talk about a certain religion and teach about it.
Wait, just 1 second. Hear me out here. We're talking about public funds.
Hmm.
You guys are saying, these are public funds. Everyone in the public gets a chance to get their hand in these
Right.
funds. I don't think we should discriminate against a group because of their beliefs. That's like saying, oh, the black people, they're trying to promote equality. We shouldn't give them any
It's not a
funds,
religion. It's
any
not a
public
religion.
funds. But we're imposing our beliefs on you. We believe we're imposing that
No,
we
you're
should all be
talking about
equal.
it. You're not talking
Treated,
about
should be treated like a human, yeah. I mean,
humans, a human,
okay,
a deity, and not
like-
the same thing.
But like Jill said, you don't have to come to these events.
And you
I
don't
mean,
get-
92% of the
Right,
public
you-
is Christian.
I don't know if that high.
I'm not-
Well, I'm telling you
Okay,
that it
then-
is.
Alright.
Maybe I can't quote
If it is that
exact.
high,
It was on W.
does
it was on
every
News.
one of those Christians believe that the funds should be used to promote their Christianity?
I don't understand how it's promoting. I mean, if we're having a club, just like, if someone wants to form a Christian club and they need funds to keep the club going, if I wanted to form a Christian prayer group, that we needed funds
It all
to
depends on where
keep
the funds are
something.
coming from.
So, yeah,
That's
but if
the
they're public funds, if they're,
The
that's
public
where all the tuition comes from here, and you know, if it's funds that they need to keep it going, I would be all for that, and I'd all be for, you know, a gay straight alliance to use funds as well. Everyone should be able to use an equal amount of funds if you want a club.
What
But a gay
depends on
straight
Like, if you
alliance
wanted a
isn't-
club that worships Satan, I mean,
No.
that is
That's a religion too.
but that's
Yeah.
your belief, and if you
Yeah,
wanna use
but
funds to do that,
Here's the thing,
okay, I mean.
does a group of three people in three people in a church get the same amount of money that a group of 1,000 people in a church?
See, I don't think they do. That's why they're going to be
They don't, that's
getting
why,
public
you know,
funds.
you
But
need, obviously if it's
Christianity,
3 people, it's not as big as a church and it's not as big a community and you get church money from tax dollars.
Christianity has had a history
Then,
of imposing their beliefs
But they
through
don't do that.
torture.
I think that's
They're
They
like, I
do
think
that
they're all
now.
together though.
If
I'm
you
I think
saying
watch-
that's incredible,
people
Jenny.
that
Can I
use
finish?
church are not doing that.
I
You're just
can't-
seeing what's
You-
been done in the past.
Never
That's
mind, you
the
guys
stuff
go ahead and
that
talk
is
about
going
whatever you
on.
want.
Wait.
I'm not allowed to finish.
Let
I'm not
Rob.
gonna stay.
Rob, go ahead. Finish,
Okay.
Rob. You don't have to. Rob. He'll be right back. He'll be
I
right
hope
back.
so.
What's the next question we have?
I
What's
don't
the next
know.
question?
The route towards his speech. So, but see, is it any wonder why he was silenced? Anyhow, we
No,
can.
don't, come on, he's a grown man. He's
Are you sure?
48 years old. You don't walk out,
I mean, he was
don't.
just complaining about people.
You just-
him
you don't-
cutting
you
people
don't do
off. So I'm
that.
like, you should expect people to do that to you too, though. I mean, if you can do that to people so easily,
You don't do
what goes
that.
wrong goes wrong. Also,
What I've got.
No, I'm the old man in the room.
I'm
Well, at least you're still here, so, says something.
I'm the
speaks
resident
volumes.
nerd of the group. I think. I don't know. Matt's pretty.
sure?
You
He
know,
is pretty
He's
nerdy.
pretty on there. So, but my my
That was
big
here
thing.
last week.
Yeah. My big thing is how exciting E3 is going to be this year. The difference is E3.
Wait, what is E3?
E3 is a convention that a lot of the developers get together, and they it's more commonly known for releasing big names. So when you have names like Gears of War 2 or Call of Duty.
Oh, like video game names.
Yeah, this is all
Okay.
video games.
Video games. Video games.
For the most
right now.
part, this Comic-Con, you have the combination of comics and books and video games. In what is it, C2E2, you have, for the most part, it's electronics in general. But for E3, it's strictly video games. What's interesting about this year is that you don't really see a whole lot of developers talking about video games. You see a few, LucasArts all of a sudden, because what happened was some of the big names like BioShock Infinite, which is just, it's a follow-up of a series. They've got a lot of other names out there that have been pushed back.
Mhm.
Darksiders has been pushed back. A lot of the release dates have been, and the discussion behind why that is completely off the top. So LucasArts, has jumped into the game and
I
said,
know
oh, by the way, yeah, they
LucasArts.
make all the Star Wars
Star
games.
Wars games and
They've jumped in and they're all like, hey, we're going to be releasing a game since nobody else is going to be for the most part. The big thing on everybody's mind is the next generation. A lot of people are wondering about what the next generation of consoles is going to be. I know this is boring to everyone else, but
No, I'm intrigued.
this is kind of exciting.
The next generation of consoles, like there's like a PS4
Yes.
and
Okay.
maybe not a Wii. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called now.
They're calling it the Wii U, but they're not, I don't think that's the official name yet.
So Nintendo is coming out with this? Okay.
Nintendo is, and the Xbox, the Microsoft team is coming out with something. And Microsoft is interesting because they've nicknamed theirs like Durango or something like that. Like, what are you, a bunch of cowboys? What is this? Marlboro?
Xbox was
Yeah, Xbox was great. You know, make it the 720, and they've had hints of that throughout all of the different games that they've been releasing. Is 720 this or 720 that, but that's not really. They're not sure. So they're going to be announcing all of this at E3. So and that's next June.
Next June, E3. Check it
Where is
out.
that gonna be? Is it a
Where is it?
convention, is it a traveling convention, or is it only a set
You know,
place?
from what I understand, it travels, but I can take a look and see. Typically, it's going to be in LA.
Yeah, Ed, or, okay, Taylor is going to get robbed right now. As you currently saw, he got a little heated up the topic we were discussing. Which happens, which happens when we get into it, and get into discussion. Jill, you seem a little heated yourself.
I'm just saying, social skills, you don't